and welcome to this week's edition of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. As usual, remember to jump onto the hashtag 3QP and let us know what your sporting interests are. Also, what you think of the new show format. I'm Denima Duffin.
And I'm Ngaroka.
No, I really want to know. Anyway, so Kenya Cup is over, Enterprise Cup is over. Yeah. So
15th is over.
Yeah, 15th is over.
Yeah.
And we did this last year. So for you guys who saw it last year, let's compare notes. Compare notes. So we're looking at the Kenya Cup team of the season. So I'll go through my 15, and then he will go through his 15, and then we'll
debate.
We'll debate.
Okay.
So number one. Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I have Asuman Mugerwa from Cabras, Max Sadaka from Cabras, and Katisle Lako from KCB. My 4, I think I would go with, I'll come back to 4.
Yeah.
5, Oliver Mangeni. 6, I would have Andrew Monde. And then 7, Collins Njara. My 8 would be Davis Chenge. My 9 was a tricky one. I had 3 people in mind, but I would give it to Brian Tanga. 10 would be Eden Aguero. 11, Jacob Oje. 12, Nick Baraza. 13, Peter Kilonzo. 14, Bill Omondi from Impala. Yeah. And 15, I would give to Philip Wakaraj. Yeah, so 4 was a tricky one.
Yeah.
I think 2 people I thought of were Davis Makori, and Harlequins, your friend.
Tony
Mutai. No, you Harlequins, but you're all, those were my 2,
yeah.
But
okay.
It was a tricky one. So who are your 15?
Mine first, front row is all KCB, Oscar Sorano, Peter Kari, and Curtis Lako. My 4 is, I was actually torn between Hilary Odhiambo, Cabras, Tony Mutai.
That was the other name.
Yeah.
Hilary Odhiambo.
Cabras,
Yes.
Tony Mutai of Kenya Harlequins. 5 is no doubt Oliver Mangeni.
Yep.
6 is Andrew Monde. 7 is Collins Njara. My 8, by virtue of his team winning, then of course I would choose, or rather you'd say Davis Chenge had a better season. But somebody who really impressed me at number 8 was Mwamba's Tony Oworo.
Oh yes.
Yeah, number 8. I think he also had a decent season. Number 9, Brian Tanga. 10, I think everyone agrees, Eden Aguero is the standout number 10 this season.
Yes.
11, despite the fact that he didn't play too many games because of Seven's commitment, I think Jacob Ojo was miles above or ahead of the other number 11s. Number 12, Nick Baraza was miles ahead of the other number 12s. Now number 13, I know people go with Peter Kilonzo, and I like his aggro, but the reason why I've chosen the person I've chosen is, number 1, we've seen him kind of return to the form that had him featuring for Kenya for a while, and for me it was just his technical understanding of the game, the number of intercepts he had in the season, the number of turnovers he had in the season, his defense, and for me that's David Akwena, number 13. Number 14, Philip Sayange from Cabras, and 15, Philip Wakaraj.
Okay.
Now, 1 and 2. Asman Mugero, you chose Asman Mugero,
Yes.
Max Sadaka. I chose Oscar Sorano and Peter Kari.
Yep.
You give your reasons, I'll give my reasons.
So am I like, is it mine versus yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I went with Asuman. Having seen him last Elgon Cup in Uganda and actually captaining his team, and then seeing him play for Cabras, I feel like you need that power, you need that aggro. Like, not that Oscar Serrano doesn't have it, but I feel like Asuman has that edge over him.
Mine is just your KPIs as a front row is 2 things. Is number 1 scrummaging and number 2 ball carrying. And I think Oscar Sorano has been excellent in those 2 fields, and that's why. And look, the 2 times that they've met, he's had the upper hand of his opposing number. That's why for me, it's Oscar Sorano.
Number 2?
Number 2 for you?
I would say Max Sadaka is my standout number 2. Leading from the front, not only just as a captain, but as a player as well. That bit of maturity that he has, level-headedness in a game most of the time. Yeah. I feel like Peter Kari has been a bit on and off for me. Having been also dropped from the Simbas, things like that. So I would go with Max Sadaka.
being dropped for the Simbas, I think, is what ignited Peter Carrier's the season, in my opinion. And the reason why I would not choose Max Sadaka is because the only plus in Max Sadaka's two. Number one is his leadership. That has been very good at Cabras. Number two, his only plus from a technical standpoint has been his ball carry. His throws have not been excellent. They really cost them. And even at the breakdown, he's not really been excellent. Peter Carrier, save for the leadership, has been very consistent. His line throws have been consistent. His scrummaging has been consistent. His breakdown contesting has been consistent. And he's shed a lot of weight. That has made him very agile this season. So for me, it's Peter Carrier.
Well, anyway, we'll let everyone else choose.
Debate, yes.
Next one,
number 4.
I think number 4 we can agree on.
Yes.
For me, it would actually be Hillary.
Yes.
Tony has had a good season, but there are times when it was a little shaky. It was a little shaky for me. So,
I'd also go with Hillary Odhiambo. Tony has not. We have seen very good games from him, and we've seen some very lackluster games from him. So and also look, Tony's an old guy. I mean, you can't expect him to put up some numbers like the young boy. So I'll go with Hillary Odhiambo.
Next one,
I think we agree. Davis Chenge.
All the way to 13.
To number 13, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I know you mentioned at some point that Ambunya, his attack, his understanding of the game, which we all love about him. His defense, though, you mentioned, but I feel that is where Peter Kilonzo, for me, has the edge over him, in the sense that he was one of the main reasons why when the last time KCB played against Harlequins, he was basically the main reason that the pairing of David Ambunya and
Alex Olabo.
Yes.
No, Frank Wanyama.
Frank Wanyama actually, couldn't get through. And for me, I feel like in as much as you can attack, that's fine. Of course, if you've got people around you who know how you play, yes, it will help in the game. But if your defense is weak, then I mean you're a weakling, or you're making your other players work harder.
The reason why I disagree with you is that in that game, David Ambunya didn't even finish 20 minutes.
I know.
You can't judge him on 20 minutes.
No, well.
You can't judge him on 20 minutes.
But basically, throughout the season, like Peter Kilonzo,
his defense, I do not disagree. His
yes.
defense has been even better than David Ambunya's defense. But I'm saying from an all-round perspective, Ambunya's defense, and I'm saying his tackling and contesting for the ball at the breakdown, his reading of the game, his intercepts, which have been like 5-6 in the season, most notably the one against Impala, and for somebody who had a very disappointing 2018 season, you have to give the guy props. So personally for me, it's I like Peter Kilonzo's aggro.
You drive a hard bargain.
I like Peter Kilonzo's aggro. I like it. I love his defense, but now from the technical part of understanding the game and knowing when to play and knowing when to cut out a pass. That's for me.
That actually I agree with you on that one.
Number 14 is the next one. You chose Billy Omondi.
Yes.
I chose Felix Ayange.
I think they're both very good players, very different players. Different ages. Like they are just different in every sense of the word. To be honest, I probably would have thought of Felix, but he didn't cross my mind at that time. I picked Billy Omondi because for me I feel like he's been really good out on the wing. He's just not gotten that ball enough. He's not gotten enough opportunity. So this one I picked because of the potential I saw in him.
I wouldn't disagree with you. He's had a decent season, what you would call his breakout season. And like you're saying, you pick out of potential because of what you've seen with the little that he's gotten. And I can see where you're coming from. Felix, he's an old guy.
Yes.
And I think he's had a fantastic season under Henry Duplessis. Felix has been kind of seesawing ever since he left Queens. And it's good to see him on the back of having, a stint with the Kenya Simbas. for his first stint actually with the Kenya Simbas. It's good to see him getting a decent season at Cabras.
Yeah. But guys, let us know who your team is. I would really love to know.
Yeah.
So moving on to the shorter version of the game, we had the Paris Sevens, where we were facing relegation, and guys were sort of 50-50. The guys were like, no, let's get relegated. Let guys realize this is what happens when you don't have your systems in order.
Yeah.
And their guys were like, no, we worked so hard, and we can't, we don't want to punish the boys. They've worked so hard for this. We don't want to be relegated. So first game against Australia, 1919. Well done.
Yeah.
Second game against South Africa, 12-29. Still not bad. Third pool game against Wales, won that 26-21. Ended up in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Where we played USA.
Yes.
And there we lost that game 26-14. We're doing well, really well, up until I think the second half, whatever it is that Mike Friday said.
Yes.
Actually, he told them the game is in your hands. Like, yo, it's up to you people. So, yeah. Second half, USA showed up and decided, nah, this is not happening. You guys are not, But it still was a good performance from the boys.
Yeah.
Fifth place semi-finals against France, and lost it in extra time. 26-21 to France.
Yeah.
But that, I think, was a very good outing. Compared to the other outings. You could see the grit, you could see the determination, you could see, our players, Bush Mwale, Johnson Alindi, Andrew Omonde, all on the
impact player,
and Andrew Omonde actually making the HSBC dream team.
Yes.
I think that's
dream team, yes.
That was just awesome. So 13th place, 37 points, not relegated. I think that was a very good outing for them.
That performance was all about Andrew Omonde. I think he led from the front.
Yeah.
Granted, he's no longer the captain, but he definitely is a leader in that team.
Yep.
And very many people resonate with what Andrew Omonde is about.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we saw him do on the day.
Yes.
I'm just laughing because during the halftime, there was a tweet that was going around. Of course, you know how the camera zeroes in on the huddles. And Mike Friday is there telling his players that, destiny. Destiny is in your hands.
Yeah.
And you flip over to the Kenya side and they're being told kaende. And that was the debate that guys were talking about. But look, without a doubt, I was that school of thought that let's get relegated, let's get our stuff together.
That was the other half.
Yeah, you're the other half. All in all, the boys, we've maintained our core status. But I hope this scare then wakes people up.
Yeah.
Some people feel that, look, we're just going to be like, you know what? We managed.
Yeah, we managed. So let's continue.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
But you hope that that scare then gets some people thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to think about this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we move on to, again, back to 15.
Yes.
So we're talking about the newly appointed Kenya Simbas coach, Paul Adera.
Yeah.
So he started his role from the 1st of June, and he'll be overseeing the team as well as Chipu, because, of course, he's still the coach for now, up until when he leaves, and then Kenyan Dollar will take over.
Yes.
So he's a new Kenya Simbas coach, and I think that's a good move. I mean, we've seen Paul work his magic with the young boys. I want to see what he can do with our older guys. Also, the fact that we've not gone and outsourced, we have someone who knows the players, step up into that role, basically.
Paul Odera's appointment. And first, before I make my comments, I've asked very many guys about what their feeling was about his appointment as the Kenya Simbas coach. There's a camp that feels, Paul Odera has not been involved with senior players for a very long time. So moving him to the senior players just now is a problem. There's another camp that feels that he hasn't coached. The last time he coached the Kenya Cup team was a very long time ago, and the dynamics have changed. In fact, even in terms of mobility and especially forward play and the systems that have been used internationally. I like Paul Odera because of his basics. He's a level 3 coach, and the way he drills basics into the players, and that's why part of me feels he should have remained with under 20 to drill in those basics to those players. Now, where we are, Of course, we can't afford a foreign coach.
Couldn't even before.
Yeah. Yes, we couldn't even before. We can afford a foreign coach. I would like to know what our relationship is with Western Province Rugby Union to know if Port Adelaide can be able to capitalize on that, because we've seen, and the person and very many people think was the front runner for this job was Curtis Olago, KCB, because the systems we see being employed at KCB, and the fact that he's still, I think his research is on an high level in terms of getting to know the game and understanding the game from a professional standpoint. We've seen how it's benefited largely with the association with Western Province, and I'd like to see that at the Kenya level, because the truth and the fact of the matter is, and let's not shy away from this, is that we learn rugby late. In South Africa, rugby is a national game. These guys pick up the game when they're 4, 5, 6 years. Therefore, even the basics are inside them. That could be something that's a plus for Paul O'Dara, because he's the St. Mary's boy, so all this has been instilled in them. But I think, look, all in all, it's a good appointment, especially on the back of what he's done at the under-20 level, getting them back to JWRT. One thing I like about Paul O'Dara is how he's open to the new tactics in the game, or new developments in the game. I know he's heavily involved in using analytics and using Edwin Boyd in terms of sports science and analytics, and I hope he can be able to move to the current team. So his first outing is the Albon Cup, and we'll wait to see how that goes.
So he's on for a year. Now that you've mentioned Edwin Boyd as the analyst, we also have Jimmy Mnene as the TM. We have Ben Mahinda as a physiotherapist, and Michael Owino, known as Mike Musty, as a strength and conditioning coach, and Albertus Van Buren as a backs coach. The one thing I like that Paul O'Dara said is that now he's hoping to get one program for the under-20s, the junior team and the senior team, so there's easier progression. Because it doesn't make sense when you're doing one system here and then you go and get thrown into this other system, on this other side. So that's one of the things that's a plus, I guess, for having him on board.
That's true.
So there's the provisional single squad, of course, as there is every year, and they're going to, fight it out, have trials, see who makes the team for the upcoming Albon Cup, which will be at the Mamboleo Showgrounds in Kisumu. Winners, of the championship. Yes. So that will be on the 22nd of June. So guys, I mean,
the guys are planning to travel to Kisumu. First question: 3 weeks is when you guys are constituting your team. Apple they failed.
Are we surprised?
Are we surprised? No. But they've failed there. And let's be honest about it. Second, may I echo the sentiments of KCB head coach Curtis Olago. After 21 grueling weeks of Kenya Cup and Enterprise Cup action,
you still want
to have trials? I mean, where were you in those 21 weeks? When you sat down, where were the selectors? When you sat down looking up for the guys who've had actually a decent season? So it just shows the disorganization, which we are accustomed to now, with the people who are involved. And you deal Paul O'Dara a bad card. Because then what do you expect him to do in that short time? 3 weeks with a team.
Well, let's see how it goes.
That's true.
So, onto the international rugby scene. Super Rugby Match Day 16. We had Blues drawing with the Bulls, 22 all.
Yes.
That would have been redundant. Anyway, Rebels, losing to the Waratahs 15-20. Sunwolves losing to Brumbies 42-19. Chiefs beating the Crusaders 40-27. The Reds losing to Jaguars 23-34. Sharks losing to Hurricanes 17-30. And Lions beating Stormers 41-22.
Chiefs versus Crusaders was a shocker for me. I'd expected Crusaders to beat the Chiefs. But like I said last week, this derby is always very interesting. These local games, and Waikato versus Canterbury is always an interesting matchup, and you can see the results. 40-27 to the Chiefs. Shocking for the Crusaders. Yeah.
Match day 17, we've got Highlanders versus Bulls, Reds versus Blues, Crusaders versus Rebels, Waratahs versus Brumbies, Lions versus Hurricanes, Stormers versus Sunwolves, and Jaguars versus Sharks.
The Tars versus the Brumbies should be the interesting game. All Australian clash. That should be an interesting matchup.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Europa Cup final. We Chelsea versus Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I know how loyal you are. How so loyal you are.
Yeah.
So a proper hiding
yeah.
by Chelsea 4-1. To Chelsea.
This Arsenal team is useless. How do you get to a final
and then get whooped for it? I think the guys who they played in the semis are like, yo, we should have. Yeah.
There's some guys who were saying, okay, some conspiracy. Peter Cech was the one who was chosen to be the starting goalkeeper. People are like, look, Peter Cech is retiring. He's going to Chelsea in a goalkeeping role. That's what people are talking about. I don't think that's the case. Look, Peter Cech is a professional.
Yeah.
Truth in the fact of the matter is that Arsenal didn't take their chances. They had the better possession, better part of the possession, in the first half. They didn't execute their chances. And in the second half, that's all Chelsea did.
Yep.
They got one chance, two chances, three chances, four chances,
yep.
and all of them, they converted them. Squad selection was also a problem. Defense was porous. Arsenal's defense was porous, and hence the 4 goals. So look, on the day Chelsea were the good team. They composed, they shut Arsenal down. They didn't let Arsenal take their chances, and they in time did take their chances.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we had the other one, which was the Champions League final. Tottenham versus Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool taking that 2-0.
Yeah.
So Mo Salah with a penalty, in the beginning.
Yeah.
First 2 minutes actually, and then Divock Origi in the 87th minute.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, Tottenham had more shots on goal and more possession. So, you sit down and you're like, okay.
What happens in such games is that you go down early, which is what happened here.
Yeah.
2 minutes, you're already down. So you're chasing the game at 2 minutes. So you dominate the possession. You dominate shots on goal. Son had a very eventful night in front of goal. And you'll be trying to get this one goal because, like I'm saying, you've gone down early even before you settled into the game. So you're already chasing the game. That's what happened. But Liverpool had the mindset and championship mindset. I mean, they won the finals last year. They were able to take it easy. They were able to soak in the pressure, which they did very well. And then off a corner kick, bam, Divock Origi with the second goal in the 87th minute, completely killing off Tottenham Hotspur any chance.
It was gone.
It was gone. So the 6th title for Liverpool, the last time they won this, was good to see Steven Gerrard, former Liverpool captain, who was the last person to lift actually the UEFA Champions League in 2005, I think. And taking into account that Liverpool lost last year's final, they narrowly lost this year's Premier League title race to Man City, it was good for them to get something.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
So we move on to boxing. And we had British heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua going up against Andy Ruiz Jr. And I think people who went to sleep because they didn't feel like this was, anything, not worth watching, woke up and were shocked.
Yeah.
Like beyond belief type of stuff. Stellar performance from Andy Ruiz Jr.
Yeah.
So Anthony Joshua suffered 4 knockdowns.
Yeah.
4 whole knockdowns.
Yeah.
One.
I think 2 in the third round.
Yes.
2 in the 7th round. Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, what do you even say after that? Although there are rumors here and there that he wasn't feeling well, he wasn't 100%, but 4 knockdowns.
Of course, the first shocking thing in that fight is the physical shape in which both of them were. I mean, Andy Ruiz, clear pot belly, and
Kijana mfupi round. Maybe not short, but yeah.
And Anthony Joshua chiseled. Number 1. Number 2, there's a general feeling amongst, and the 3 foremost heavyweight boxers currently is Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. And Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury have gone on record saying how much they really don't respect Anthony Joshua because of the fact that he always fights in his background. He always fights in his comfort zone. And they've challenged him to get outside his comfort zone. It's unfortunate that the first time he does that,
he's knocked out.
Yeah, the Madison Square Gardens, he's knocked out. And I was just having when I saw the results, I was thinking about a similar fight, I think in 2002, or a similar situation until again British boxer Lennox Lewis and Hassim Rahman, and same case. I think the fight was in April. First fight was in April. Hassim Rahman knocks down Lennox Lewis, and everyone is in shock.
Yeah,
and everyone is like, hey. And I think that fight was in South Africa, by the way, and everyone is like, how did this happen? But there was a rematch. And we know that in this one there's a rematch clause. There was a rematch clause in the contract. To be honest, Anthony Joshua is going to whoop Andy Ruiz Jr. come the rematch.
Oh well.
And if he does that, of course, then it sets up a good platform between who wins Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder rematch. Because whoever wins that, of course, then is going to be fighting Anthony Joshua. Yeah.
But after only like 3 weeks of training, I think Andy Ruiz Jr. did very well.
No, he did a good job.
You
have to give
You've got to give it to him.
You have to give it to him,
So NBA news. We're on the finals, or in the finals rather. So game 1, Raptors win, beat Warriors 118 to 109. And then second game, Raptors lose to Warriors 104 to 109. So they're tied at one game each.
Game 1, Pascal Siakam with 32 points. Marc Gasol also had a very good game at the center with 20 points. Steph Curry had 34 points, but he really had to work for his 34 points. It wasn't, you could see number one, the layoff. Golden State had not played for about 9-10 days, having clinched the Western Conference Finals in 4 games. So they had a 10-day layoff, and you could see they were really sluggish. I think they also allowed Toronto to settle into their game very quick, and Toronto took full advantage of that. And number 3, and I think for me the most important thing, is that they focused too much on Kawhi Leonard. They forgot the other guys. That's what we saw with Pascal Siakam. Draymond Green had an awful game in game 1. Come game 2, perhaps, and I'm saying perhaps, I'm not saying it's a fact, but many people say that he might be the brightest coach in the league. Steve Kerr makes a masterpiece of a change, brings in DeMarcus Cousins, somebody who hasn't played. The worry was always that he had not played since the first round of the playoffs against the LA Clippers. So you bring someone like that with no previous final experience, you throw him into the deep end. There was that fear. But look, DeMarcus Cousins is an all-star, and that's what he was able to show in game 2. Klay Thompson, then they did what I think the Golden State Warriors have been able to do very well throughout the season, and that's spread your points. So you have Steph Curry with 23 points, you have Klay Thompson with 25 points, and they took the game to Toronto. They were able to shut down Pascal Siakam, who had a very good game in game 1, and he wasn't as effective in game 2. Kawhi Leonard got most of their points, 34 points, but he can't be carrying the load. He can't be dropping 34 points and then the other guys are not sharing in, for lack of a better word. Now we go back to the Bay. We go back to the Oracle Arena for game 3 and game 4. No likelihood, Kevin Durant is back. Klay Thompson limped into the game with a tight hamstring. I don't know if he's going to be ready for game 3. Chances are that he will, but chances are also that he could not be ready. But you have Kevin Durant back, and he's been your best offensive weapon this whole season. To add on to it, you're now playing at home. It's going to be difficult for Toronto, but this is a Toronto team that was able to go and win a couple of games against the Milwaukee Bucks. I know Milwaukee Bucks and Golden State Warriors are not the same, but they were able to win on the road. And if they're able to steal one game at the Oracle Arena, then it's not going to be easy. My call, and this has been my call throughout, I think Golden State takes it in 6 games.
Well, we'll wait and see. So onto the bonus segment just before we wrap it up. And today we're talking about collective bargaining agreements in sports, and basically what our thoughts are on this. So in collective bargaining agreements, you basically have, instead of individuals going to negotiate whatever it is that they want, you have owners and players or participants like in a group basically. So they'll come and they'll be like, okay, so this is what we want, whether it's wages, whether it's things like that, whether it's hours, conditions of employment, other things that are typically covered. And I'll just go through what I found out. Club discipline, non-injury grievances, injury grievances. You've got your salaries, your access to personal files, your medical rights, and retirement. And I think, pros for me would be the fact that you guys all have a voice. You'll sit down, you'll agree, and you'll be like, so everyone's view is sort of heard. But then one of the cons, I would say, is the fact that you'll have a lot of conflict a lot of the time, because maybe I want this and you want something different, and maybe owner wants to, I don't know, have someone come onto the team and pay them some exorbitant fee, and no one else is for it. So it's got its pros and cons, but what do you think?
It does. Just to explain to the viewers, and the most common, or the one they know the most, is between the Ministry of Health and the Kenyan Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union. That's the doctors and the Ministry of Health. So from a legal perspective, just to explain to you, for a union to be recognized, the union has to be, for a union to be registered, the union has to be recognized by its parent body. That's number one. And number two, the onus is on the parent body to register the collective bargaining agreement with the labor office. And if they don't do it in a certain amount of time, then the onus now is on the union to register the collective bargaining agreement with the labor office. Now, the one I would like to highlight, because it's familiar with guys here, is the NBA collective bargaining agreement. They talk about things like trades. They talk about issues like salary caps, revenue distributions in the league. And it's between the commissioner and the owners on one side and the NBA Players Association on another side. So the two things that I'm talking about, you have the employers, who is the commissioner of the NBA, and the owners on one side. And then you have the NBA Players Association. So if it was in Kenya, basically we are saying that the commissioner and the owners have recognized the NBA Players Association, and as such, that's why it's been registered. And what CBAs do is that you are, especially because you see most of the guys who make the money are the owners. The players are able to get something off it. I know in NFL, the players get shafted big time by the owners, but the NBA is a bit favorable to the players. And what I actually remember, was it NBA Commissioner Adam Silver? He was actually making a comment about the last the last CBA, collective bargaining agreement, must have been 2015 or 2016, and he was saying how Michael Jordan was very instrumental in having it unlocked, because he's been on both sides. He's been a player, he's an owner now. But in Kenya, the reason why it hasn't taken off, of course, is because our federations don't want to recognize associations, because when they do that, now in come things like strikes.
Of course. That was one of the things I was going to say. Guys say, yo, this is not happening. We're going on strike.
We're going on strike. And I'm sure the federations are afraid of that, and the unions are afraid of that.
Definitely.
So that's why this is something, as we continue the championing our message for commercialization of sports and giving our players what they need, then the federations need to also think about having these players associations registered and then getting into CBAs.
Well, let's see if that'll ever happen. But what do you guys think? Let us know. Of course, the hashtag to use is 3QP. I can't even go through all the topics they need to give us feedback on. But please do, starting from your Kenya Cup dream team all the way to what we've just talked about in the bonus segment. Remember, you can find us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Duffield.
And I'm Ngaroka Muya.
See you next week.